GS1 US, a GS1 UK, a GS1 India, a GS1 Australia. What we do is that we create and we deploy what we call global standards. So anywhere where our standards are used or they are gotten, they can be used anywhere in the world. So, next slide please. So first of all, we'll start by asking questions. These questions are very, very important. In Nigeria especially. You know Nigeria is a very special country. And the questions are as follows. Next slide. Who is the manufacturer of a product? Do we know the actual manufacturer of the product that we are selling? Is the product legal? Is it a good product? Has been a fake product? Is a counterfeit product? Where did this product come from? Before it got to our place, was it properly stored? These are questions. Who owns the brand? Is it me as an authentic manufacturer? Or maybe somewhere, somebody is making my product and selling for me, but making the money I'm supposed to make. These are the questions that GS1 standards attempts to answer. So first of all, this is the story. Trust begins with visibility. What is visibility? Visibility means that we can see what is happening around a drug, a pharmaceutical product, in the supply chain, from where it is manufactured in a pharmaceutical company, to where it gets to the pharmacy, community pharmacy, or patent medicine shop. We can see this journey from the very beginning to the very end. So we can know where our medicines are coming from and whether our medicines are authentic or not. So, GS1 is working with NAFTA. We provide technical support to NAFTA around the area of what we call traceability. Next slide, please. And what we do is that we try and make sure we achieve trust and brand protection. We're able to make sure that trading partners can share information about products that they buy and they sell among themselves. We also make sure that we also have issues that we're able to make sure that when a medicine is being given to a patient, we're sure it is the correct medicine. So when we speak about traceability, supply chain, and patient care, it's very simple. We want to make sure that the ordinary Nigerian gets the medicine that they're supposed to take. They're not getting something that they're not supposed to take. So this is how our story begins. So we're actually, I've spoken about this, we're actually a organization. We have a vision, very simply, patient safety. Very simply, supply security and efficiency. What does supply chain security mean? It simply means that within my warehouse, within my premises where I'm doing business, I can know that I know what I have in stock. I know the status of my product. I know where my product is going to expire on this date. All these kind of things, they help to reduce loss and waste. We also do what we call traceability. Traceability means that we can see what is happening to products as they move from one place to another, from the beginning of the supply chain to the end. And where a product is, we can authenticate that it is coming from the right place. It is not coming from someone that is doing fake business. We can also talk about what we call product data, the information behind a product or a location. So this is really what our vision is, to make sure that we do what's very important to ensure this. So GS1, as a company, we have 3 sets of standards. We're still going to engage Appman after this meeting for trainings and other information and the like. But the first thing we need to remember is that we have 3 sets of standards. Identify. What are we identifying? What's important for traceability is that we're identifying our products, the products we sell and we buy. We're also identifying the locations in which we do business. That's what we'll speak about for now, among other things. Now, what we do after that is that these identification keys that are global, we put them into barcodes. I will put them to barcodes so that we can scan, we can get information about them, and we can share information about what is happening to products. Another thing again is that our sectors of standards are shared standards. What we are going to speak about today is our event share standard, which is traceability. Traceability is the ability to track forward and trace backwards. Next slide, please. So, why do we have barcodes? We have barcodes so we can scan. Why do we scan? Because we want to make sure that we don't have error. Anytime we enter supermarket, whether it's ShopRite, Just Right or whoever, and we want to buy market, we want to buy things for our house, you will find out that you will put things inside the basket. And when you put these things inside the basket, you will take it to the cashier. The cashier, what do you see them doing? You see them, they have scanner, as their scanner, they scan the barcodes. They are not writing down, they are not typing into a system. And why are they doing this? Because they want to make sure that you are not paying for seaway water, 50 cl, instead of paying for seaway water, 1.5 liters. They want to make sure that you are not making mistakes. So this is what we call automatic identification and data capture. It refers to ways of putting information into computer systems without any form of human involvement. Next slide, please. So, now, in GS1, is for you to know this as information. We have the following identification keys. We have identification keys that we encode in barcodes that identify products like seaway water, like Coatem, like Epsom by 96s, things like that. Now, these are products that are bought and they are sold, they are products of trade. We also have the serial shipping container code. I'm going to go very fast there because there's still code coming to train and engage you that we use to identify things that are carried for transport or storage. We have, very important, the global location number, GLN. We use this to identify physical locations like your businesses, your physical location of your businesses. Because we use this thing to do track and trace. And we also have other standards like standards that identify people and the like. But the most important thing you must note is that these identification keys are global. If, for instance, you're a manufacturer in Nigeria and you take an identification key from GS1 Nigeria, you can use this identification key to sell products anywhere in the world. They are unique. The identification key for seaway water, 50 cl. Is different from the identification key for seaway water, 750 cl. They're international, they can be used everywhere. They are secure and they're the foundation of GS1. Next slide, please. So, the second one that we spoke about are capture standards. We mentioned they're either barcodes or radio frequency identification systems. Now, these two capture standards are standards that we encode our identification keys inside. And I'll just give an example of how the second one works. RFID. Now in your warehouse, you put an RFID reader. On your products, you put RFID chips. You connect your RFID reader to a computer system. Now, so far you are within that warehouse. If that RFID reader, any product that has chip or carton that has chip, it can read it automatically. You don't need to do anything. Within 100 square meters of where the RFID reader is. If somebody carries carton and removes it from that place, the RFID reader will automatically do -1. So your stock level, let's say you have 100 cartons, will suddenly become 99. You don't need to be there. You don't need to do anything. That's what they use RFID for. RFID is expensive. So we're not going to use it for traceability. So we're going to actually use barcodes. Next slide, please. So, There are two types of barcodes that we use for traceability. One of them is called the GS1128. It's a long linear barcode. That long barcode you can see at the top. The second one is the 2D data matrix barcode. If you look at some of your products that maybe you get from India, products like things like glucophage, you see these barcodes on them. Maybe if you see products that come on, maybe they are antihypertensives, you will see maybe 2D data matrix barcode on it. You will see it. And under beside that barcode, you will see 4 lines of numbers. Now these 4 lines of numbers on the barcodes are what we call traceability information. What they do is that we have the product identifier called the GT, the expiry date, the lot number, batch number, and a serial number that is unique to that product pack. Now these 4 pieces of information, global trade item number which identifies the product, lot number, expiry date, and serial number cannot be the same for any 2 products. This packet of paracetamol by 96s, it will have a different serial number from another packet of paracetamol by 96s. Why are we doing this? We want to identify products so we can see what's happening to this pack of paracetamol syrup as it is moving through the supply chain. This is what we call unique identification. So the combination of the barcode and the information that's under it that I've just mentioned is what we call traceability features. Next slide, please. So we will now move on to traceability very quickly. Traceability allows visibility to the movement of medicines through the supply chain. What does this mean? Now, as a manufacturer, I'm standing here. I have a traceability system working. I can see what's happening to each and every single pack of my products that I produce. As it is in real time, as it is moving from one place to another. So when it gets to wholesaler, maybe it gets to 12, you will see when it gets to 12. When it leaves 12 to somewhere else, you will see where it goes. That is what we call tracking. The other component of traceability, which we call tracing, is the fact that I work in New Health, I stand here. I'm holding a product. I scan it. I can see the journey of where this product is coming from to when it gets to me. As I want to pick products from anywhere, I can scan and I can authenticate that this information about this product was put there from the very beginning by the manufacturer of the product. And this is what we call tracing. The most important thing we know is that it is a key driver for patient safety to reduce fake and counterfeit products, to ensure supply chain visibility, and so many other things. Next slide, please. So, this is what the events look like. These are what we call traceability events. Now, traceability events happen when you use a traceability software that is in a scanner to scan a barcode. And when you scan that barcode, you create an event and you share that event with an event repository. Now, that event repository is very, very big, has been developed by NAFDAC. NAFDAC are developing regulations around traceability. Traceability is coming. So, what events happen in the supply chain? Let's say I manufacture one, anywhere in the world. When a product comes into life during production, I will do something I will do what I call a commissioning event. A commissioning event simply means that this product has come into existence. I send that event to the event repository that is controlled by NAFDAC. If I like, I pack it to cartons. That's another event, we call it packing. Then I ship, maybe to my distributor, who may be any of you. When I ship to my distributor, the next thing that happens is that the distributor will receive the product it will create a receiving event. When you want to ship again, and maybe shipping out to pharmacy, it will create a shipping event. And pharmacy will receive, or PPNBL, they will receive and then they will dispense or decommission. So this is actually a very summarized part of the presentation because of the time that we have. But as I mentioned today, our engagement with Appman, begins now. We are still going to be doing a lot of engagement with you. The most important thing you must note is that all these events are simply created by scanning a barcode and using a traceability platform that is based on GS1 standards. NAFTA will get all this information. And this is what we use, that if we scan a product wherever we have, maybe in our places of business or in our pharmacies, we can, when we scan that product, so far MZO, who is the manufacturer, has put a commissioning event around that product pack, we will know that it's authentic. What traceability does is that it authenticates the source of the medicine. It makes sure that we know that it's coming from the right place. So it's for us to know this information very, very briefly. Next slide, please. Next slide. So now, the building blocks of traceability are unique identification of products and locations, and logistical units and the like. These identification keys, next slide please, next, are encoded into barcodes or RFID systems. We can now link the physical movement of products as they move through the supply chain, from the beginning of the supply chain to exactly where they are now, and we can provide information to the regulator's traceability platform about what is happening to these products as they move from one place to another. We can retrieve data for various types of information. We want to make sure that the product is authentic. We want to know that, okay, the item status of what we have in our places of business. That it's not as if somebody maybe bought, maybe you collected goods. Maybe there was one old carton at the back. When we received goods maybe from a company, what your people did was that they just put it on top of the carton. Maybe this carton that's underneath old stock is expiring next month. So instead of them bringing that stuff to the front, they just load the one that's expiring in 2 years' time on top of it. Before you know it, you start selling the new one, selling. And then one day you realize that, I have a carton that I could have sold, but the carton's expired. Because how they store the carton in the warehouse, they didn't store it properly, they didn't bring it to the front. So what traceability can do is that we will tell you, okay, see you Oga, you have one item that's expiring next month in your warehouse. Look for it in your warehouse and find it and bring it out. This is the kind of information that we can have with traceability. If you are able to actually create the events as they should be created, you will find out that you can have correct and complete records of what you received and what you shipped and what is supposed to be remaining. These kind of things reduce waste. They help us to manage what we call our stock, our inventory. They actually reduce the possibility of loss of money and things like that. Next slide, please. So, now how do we decide that, okay, we want to check whether a product is genuine or not? So the first thing you can do is that you can scan the barcode and do a search. For instance, you know that on the barcode you have the barcode itself and you have the information that's beside the barcode. Let's say you scan the barcode and when you read the barcode, you see that maybe the expiry date is not the same. It happens. Maybe someone has changed the expiry dates. By the time you scan the barcode, you will see the real expiry dates. Another thing is that you scan the barcode and you verify that all events that are supposed to have been provided before the item got to you are there. Especially the fact that the manufacturer has created an event that this product has been commissioned. It is now live in the supply chain. You will know that the product is genuine. So these are the ways that NAFTA is going to use, and even yourselves, to make sure that you get and you market genuine products. Next slide, please. So NAFTA want to do what they call a full track and trace system. This means that everybody, if you're a manufacturer in China, you will put events in NAFTA event repository. If you're a local manufacturer, same. If you're an importer, same. Wherever you are in the supply chain, NAFTA wants to see traceability events. We call this full track and trace centralized traceability. So this is what's coming to Nigeria. We know that it's going to help to support the sanitization of our drug supply chain. Next slide, please. So, what does traceability tell us? It tells us the product. What item? It tells us when did this event take place. When did this event take place? It will give you the time of the day, it will give you the date, it will give you the time zone. It will tell you where this event took place, the global location number of where the event took place. It will also tell you why the event took place. The product was shipped to me. It was received by me. It was commissioned. It was dispensed. Any business step, it will tell you. This is what traceability tells us. Next slide, please. So there are many benefits of using the GS1 standards, and this is where we went. Anti-counterfeiting. That's why NAFTA is so interested. NAFTA wants to make sure that we strongly discourage the entry of fake and substandard products into Nigeria. Let people that are importing genuinely, please let them do their business in peace. And let them make the profit they're supposed to make from the business that they're doing. They also make sure that the traceability also make sure you can see what's happening in the supply chain around any product. As I mentioned, it supports supply chain efficiency. It improves accuracy and efficiency of when you are buying goods. It also helps if there's a need for a recall or something, a regulatory recall for any reason. Now, after you can actually find where the products are, it allows you to do a lot of marketing analytics. If you really deploy it very well as preventing diversion of goods that are not supposed to be in the private sector supply chain, like public sector products. It also helps to improve patient safety by making sure that patients get the right medicines in hospitals. So these are the kind of things that GS1 standards do. Next slide, please. So this is what traceability packaging looks like. This is a pack of the product. You can see the 2D data matrix barcode. You can see the product identifier, the global trade item number, the serial number, the expiry date, and the lot number. All this information is encoded in the barcode. When you scan the barcode, you will see the same information. If the information is different, that means that something is wrong somewhere. Either the manufacturer didn't do what they were supposed to do, or somebody has tampered with something. It's one of the two. And when there's a full regulation out, these are the things that we're going to be, of course, reporting. Next slide, please. So what we've been doing in Nigeria today, or what the NAFTA has been doing in Nigeria, NAFTA has explained most of it. But what we have done that's very important is that NAFTA has carried out 2 traceability pilots, set of traceability pilots. One for COVID-19 vaccines is still ongoing, and one for routine vaccines in the public sector. We are going to start pilots in the private sector around anti-malaria, TB, and HIV/AIDS drugs very soon. So a regulation is coming out. There's already a circular for all controlled substances to comply with traceability. It has actually been out since January. So what most important of narcotics products are doing now is they're trying to comply with the fact that they need to have traceability features on their product packs so they can still continue to operate in Nigeria. Why did NAFTA start with narcotics products? Simply because of the high level of drug abuse and sales of narcotic products by unauthorized persons. We hear some very interesting stories. I don't want to mention them here. But what you see happening is that what we're trying to do is that for the abuse of drugs, that was why NAFTA specifically started with narcotics. They want to make sure that is control for the environment. If you are not supposed to sell hard drugs or narcotic products, not hard drugs, sorry, or narcotic products, you should not be selling them. So these are some of the things that they are looking at doing. Next slide, please. So, next slide. So, now how do we implement traceability? And traceability is actually a journey. It is not, it's actually a marathon, it is not a sprint. What companies that, traceability of course usually involved, the process of traceability that involve the manufacturers and that they need to put traceability information on product parts. Sorry about that. And that means that they need to come to GS1 to get GS1 identification standards to, of course, do the necessary, provide the necessary GS1 standard and aid to perform traceability. The second one is that they will also need to work with solution providers to, of course, get the hardware that's necessary to implement traceability and also the traceability software. So these are the kind of things that we need to do. So we're still going to be engaging Appman on a very strong level. And we've come to the end of the talk on GS1. But very simply, this is what we tell stakeholders. More than just a barcode, supply chain visibility, traceability, product authentication, anti-counterfeiting, etc., etc. Thank you very much.